All right, guys. Hello, hello. It is Zaylee. I'm so excited to be here today. We are talking about flow states. And if you don't know what a flow state is, make sure that you stick around. If you are here, please say hello. I'm excited to connect with you guys and talk to you. I hope that you can hear me well and see me well as well. And yeah, first of all, let me just introduce myself. I'm Zaylee Barclay. I am a video coach and I am also a thinkific expert, which means I love helping you create online course experiences that really wow your students. So I'm happy to be here. I'm excited. We have a lot to talk about. I will be looking at my phone because my notes are here. I'm holding it upside down and it's almost dead. So I hope I make it through this live. Like I said, if you are here, say hello, right? Let me just make sure everything is good and that we are flowing. I think we are, right? And I'm just going to dive into it. If you have not been here before, this is the Cutting Room Floor series over here on this channel where we just get real and talk about the behind the scenes things as it pertains to your business, right? So a lot of times we see all of the success and all the amazing things when it comes to an online business, but also understanding that back end and things that I practice or things that I geek out over is what I love to share as well. So that is kind of where we are going in today's topic. So let me just make sure that I have it. And yeah, so flow states is something really, really, really important. And I say that because a lot of people struggle with just the whole online, just being online, and also making sure that you're creating products and services and things like that so that you really are able to make an income online. Right. So whether that is your content marketing, whether it is a new product that you want to launch, whether it is a service that you have, a lot of times, we aren't really understanding how to make time to get these things done. So either whether you are probably just starting to create products and services, or whether you are knee deep and sometimes you find yourself just distracted, whether it be social media and all that's going on online, here are some tips that are going to help you get through it. Right? So the first reason why I wanted to share this is because your ability to focus and move away from distractions is actually the thing that can move you from zero to thousands of dollars, or from thousands of dollars to millions of dollars. Your ability to focus and streamline and zone in and create. Right? We all know that we're in a stage or a place online, the online space, with everything going on, especially right now in this current time. We're going through a pandemic. We are going through a revolution. We are going through so many things as we speak. And and that's just on top of what was distracting us before as it pertains to social media, right? So that's one thing that, first of all, everything going on, it's really hard for us to really zone in and do what we're supposed to do, right? And if you are really stressed out in this time, I do advise that you step away and take a break. If you're not completely overwhelmed and you still have work to do and you still have things to get done, because that's just the way things are, right? I suggest that you kind of do the same thing, and we're going to talk about that. So, first of all, I'll be referencing two people in this live stream, and the first one is Mahali. I think it's Mahali. I hope I'm saying that right. And I'm also going to be sharing about Stephen Kotler, right? So those two people are the people. Oh, and my favorite, Stephen Pressfield, who is the author of The War of Art, which is a genius book. So if you have not read that just yet, I'm going to leave that down in the description box because it's such an amazing book for creatives who are actually struggling. So the definition, darling, of flow, or that state of flow, or is the optimal state of consciousness where we feel our best and perform our best. And for a lot of us, it's so hard to get into that flow state, right? Or even to experience that. A lot of us have never experienced the flow state. I feel like when we work in a 9 to 5 environment, nobody ever teaches us these things. But as you own your own business, you have so much time on your hands. You kind of have to figure out what your flow state is. When is it that you do your best work? When is it that you perform best? I feel like when you don't figure out these things, you end up in a place of confusion, first of all, right? You're thinking, well, what should I do now? Or you have so many things to do that you can't zone in and do one thing. So it's definitely a lot, right? I'm just going to stop for a minute and check to see if you guys are here. I'm using Restream currently, but I don't. Okay. I see Cole here. Hello, Cole. And Miata. I see Miata as well. I don't know if you guys are still here. I'm using Restream directly today. Hey, Sanja. And what's happening is that I can't see my comments, right? Usually I can see my comments, but today I can't. Okay, Kenya. Okay, I kind of see you guys now. All right. So that's the thing when we are dealing with so many things. We have so many things going on, whether you have your 9 to 5 going on and you're working on your online business, so many things. You have to figure out when that flow state is and what it takes to actually just getting my notes back out, what it takes to actually maintain that flow state, or even more important, how do you tap into that flow state, right? So that's one thing that I want to share with you guys, because I feel like a lot of people don't know this. And I remember a few years ago, I didn't know anything about flow states. I didn't know what they were. I didn't know how to tap into it. And I didn't know a lot of important things as it pertained to really getting focused. And as time passed, or as years passed, distractions became louder and louder, whether it was online distractions, things are going on around us. So many things are going on, especially online, with ads and we're following so many people. Everyone has something going on. Understanding what a flow state is and understanding how to implement that flow state is really, really, really important. Yes, and Kenya said, how do I consistently tap into it? So I'm going to share that as well. The things that I'm sharing today, you can actually create a routine and do these things over and over. I'm actually sharing my own specific prep to tap into a flow state. Right? And I have to read this really, really, really good quote from one of my favorite authors. I mentioned him before, and that is Stephen Pressfield. And he's referring to the fact that a lot of people sit around and wait for inspiration to come, and inspiration will never just come to you. You actually have to sit down and invite it. So Stephen said, when we sit down each day and do our work, right? Power concentrates around us. So you've got to sit down and invite your work to come to you, invite your inspiration, invite your passion. And that's how you invite your power, right? The muse, which is our power or creativity, takes note of our dedication. She approves. We have earned favor in her sight. When we sit down and work, we become like a magnetized rod that attracts iron fillings, right? Ideas come and insights accrete. So that is how we actually tap in. So how are you tapping in? Do you ever do that? Do you sit down and invite your inspiration? And I'm going to share a few ways that I do that as well. But that is something that you really need to pay attention to, right? So I'll tell you, Restream is not sharing my YouTube comments. I don't know why. So I'm just going to tap in. Okay, yes. Cole and Miata, you're here. Sandra, you're here. Okay, good. So we are flowing. Let me get back my notes. And then now we're actually going to dive into my 5 tips, right? So I hope you understand what your flow state is. It's when you actually tap into that zone of genius, and you are able to do this daily, right? And so it's something that I had to kind of figure out. And when I figured it out, it was how I was able to start. I know a lot of people always, how do you get so much done? And it's actually always having this process that I can tap into. And for me, and I'm going to share that in a little bit, my flow states happen in the morning, right? Either in the morning or probably like I gotta go to sleep really early and get up really early, and then I can tap into my flow state. Hey, Lashonda. All right. So the first thing that you have to do to tap into your flow state every day is make a time, darling. Right? You have to make a time and you have to stick to the time that you've made. That's the first thing, right? Hey, Pastor Patience. So you have to make a time and you have to stick to this time, right? So let's say your flow state happens, 2 hours after you wake up, like 9 a.m. to let's say 1 p.m. You have to be able to stick to that schedule. So even if you have a 9 to 5, your flow state might be really early in the morning before work, or it might be because it's when you dedicate that time to sit down and invite your creativity or your ability to create, right? And you also have to, I'm looking at my notes if you see me looking down, you also have to, figure out what time works best for you. That's really, really, really important. When you do that, what happens is you're able to stick to that time over and over. And this really affects the way that you create. And after a while, it becomes habit. It becomes habit, and you're able to do this often as you need to, right? And this ensures that you're operating in your peak, in your zone of genius. And this is something that people struggle with, especially when you have your own business. Consistency might be the thing that you struggle with because you don't have a boss, you don't have anyone to report to. And for me, I like to create uncomfortable situations. For example, I promised you guys I would be here at 6:30 p.m. Central every Sunday, right? That is accountability. It means that I have to make sure that I'm here at 6:30 Central, right? And then you guys will get used to it also. You guys are in some way my muses of creativity because you inspire me so much by the questions you ask and the things that you come up with. And I really, really, really love that. So you have to do that. You have to set a time. And the next important thing that you must do is set a goal, right? You have to know what is it, and this is before you have to know what am I going to accomplish, what I'm going to work on today, what am I going to complete today. And the thing about it is you have to complete this. It's kind of like creating sub goals, and I would say like project a flow state for at least 2 to 3 hours. It could be 2 to 4 hours, but figure out when your flow state time is. Like, you have to know these things before you sit down. If you don't figure out this thing, then you'll be wondering for at least an hour, what am I going to work on? Let me see what I have to do. And you don't want to do that. Let me know if you guys are with me in the comments. Let me know if these things sound kind of familiar, especially if every time you sit down to get work done, you probably only get 20 minutes of work done. You never end up zoning in and being focused. You struggle with picking up your phone, all of those things, right? So we want to make sure that that is not what you're doing, right? Let me see. Kenya says, I do that, but not consistently. This is something that you can actually implement every day. The second thing you want to do is prepare at least half an hour in advance. So if I know my flow state starts at 9 a.m., I want to be ready at 8:30. I want to start preparing, and I'll tell you a few things that I prepare. Right? You have to respect this schedule. You have to respect your work, and you have to respect what you are giving to people. Right? Let me see. Pastor Patience said, my flow state is this time in the afternoon and evening. Yes. And I love that you know when your flow state is. That way you can really tap in, you can minimize distractions, and you can get to work. Always make sure that you know what you're working on in advance, right? And the reason why I prep half an hour in advance is because I want to make sure that my mind, body, and soul is in alignment with actually getting to work. Guys, this might sound crazy, or these things that I'm saying might sound crazy just for, but if this is really what you want to do and you really want to step into the next level of what you're doing and where you are right now, I promise you, tapping into flow states consistently makes a lot of a difference. Like I mentioned before, for the people that just came on, being able to really focus and minimize distractions or leave distractions behind is the difference of you making thousands of dollars currently to making millions of dollars. I'm so serious. Right. So for me, one thing that I have to do in prepping is decompress my emotions. So if I have something that's bothering me, I can't get on or work or do whatever I have to do if I'm thinking about this thing. If it's just on my mind, and, I may end up taking that into my flow state, and I never want to do that. So I may have to either meditate or pray about it or journal, just so I can release those feelings. That's why I said 30 minutes in advance, right? So I have to get my mental right so that I'm able to create. And this is so serious because a lot of times I sit down and I have things on my mind and I don't get anywhere. So I realized writing or just getting them out or talking to God definitely helps with that, right? Pastor Patience said I'm crazy mean in the morning. Yes, and Kenya says sometimes it's hard to just focus. My YouTube people, I wish I could give you love. I need to figure out why Restream isn't showing me YouTube comments. Um, I'm not too sure why. That is so weird. And yeah, it's like blocked out. But I love that you're here, and I will check on YouTube comments in a little bit. So for me, prep also includes stimulating my senses. And if you've taken a course with me before, you've heard me say this. That is so important. For me, I need to stimulate my senses of listening. So I turn on binaural beats, right? And I will leave that playlist somewhere down in the comments if you're on YouTube. I listen to binaural beats because they stimulate your waves, your brain waves, right? So there are certain there are certain waves. There's your beta and theta and alpha waves. And so when you want to get into a state of flow, you have to listen to specific brainwave music, right? And this is something that a lot of people don't really share, but it's so helpful. So I put on noise canceling headphones, they're somewhere behind me, and I tap into that actual this type of music is called binaural beats, that was created for focus, or you could use it for sleep. You can use it to actually activate different brainwaves. And so I love listening to binaural beats that encourage focus and creativity. You can also listen to low chill. Is it low chill? I forgot the name. And lo-fi music, right? So music is really important, especially if you are looking to just silence everything and just get lost in your world of creativity. That definitely helps for me. The other thing is drink some peppermint tea or coffee or matcha, something that stimulates the brain as well, right? That really is helpful for me. For me, I love diffusing peppermint oil, or I have a mixture from Sahe. I think the brand is Sage. And I actually put it on the back of my neck, and that helps me just zone in. I don't know what it is about it, but peppermint is really good for stimulation and for focus, right? So that's something that you can definitely use as well. And light a candle, stimulate your senses. So I love, if I'm not diffusing peppermint oil, I light a candle of some sort so that I'm able to actually tap in and focus. So you're stimulating all of your senses, right? And then third, I spoke about goals initially. You have to know what you're going to do, right? Even if you have a bigger project and you say, in this flow state, I'm going to create a sub goal. So I actually tap into one goal, and make sure that I complete that one goal. That's really, really, really important. And I don't want you guys to forget that. You don't want to waste time actually figuring out what you are going to do, right? The goal when you're in a flow state is to get something done or to feel accomplished. There's this quote or this finding that I can't remember who said it, but somebody said humans actually operate their best when they are challenged. So if you aren't feeling challenged, sometimes you realize that you may feel sluggish or sloppy or like you're not or unaccomplished. When you are challenged, right, you get so much more done. And that kind of leads into my next tip, which is time yourself. You must time yourself when you are doing tasks, especially if it's something that you don't really want to do. Because you time yourself, it's like a mini challenge within your brain to beat that timer. And I have to create another video about this, right? Guys, let me just plug my computer in because it's about to die. Uh, One thing that you've got to do is time yourself. Timing yourself. I have to make a whole video on timing yourself in its own because I always have my watch on and I always have a timer on as it pertains to if I, I'm doing something, I'm working on something. Even if you came here because you got an email today, I set a timer to type that email out. I set a timer to answer emails every day because if I don't set a timer, for some reason, my brain is afraid of timers. So I use my watch, I set a quick timer and I get to it. If you've worked with me before, you know the power of Pomodoros, right? So the Pomodoro method, which is where you set a 25-minute timer and you do a sprint and you get things done. And you aim for at least 12 of those a day. You'll realize how much more you're getting done. So while I'm in a flow state, especially if I'm doing mundane tasks or things that I've been avoiding, I set timers and that trumps everything, right? It changes the game. All right. And the last thing you want to do is say goodbye to distractions. Your phone, put it away. Don't have it in the same room as you are in. For me, like I said, my flow states are in the morning, like 2 hours after I wake up. Or sometimes what I do is I switch my schedule up and I go to bed at 7 p.m. and I wake up at like 3 a.m. And by the time everyone is up, my workday is done. Like my planning is done, answering emails, I can schedule those to go out at 8 a.m. So much is done because the world is sleeping. So I really love working in those early hours. And those are my actual best flow states. Like, I don't know why, but I'm so productive when I do things like that. And for me, that's also cyclical. So I can do those in the winter. In the summer, my body tends to want to go to bed later. So I respect that my body wants to go to bed later. But you want to remove all distractions. Even if you have a partner, let them know that, hey, I'm going to get some work done. I'm going to get some things done and I need to just zone in. And I don't want any distractions. So, you can manage your distractions, but the main distraction is the phone. We'll do some work for 10 minutes and then we'll get on to the scroll and then we're in there and we're scrolling, and that's not what we want to do. Right? So, yes, that is what your flow state is, right? So, understanding flow states, understanding what they are, and how you can actually use them. And for me, all of the things I spoke about. So let's just recap. We spoke about making time or making a specific time to stick to your flow state goals. So you want to flow at the same time every day, and that way your body kind of gets used to it after. We spoke about prep, right? So your prep is actually getting your things together, and focusing and zoning in, making sure that you declutter your emotions and your mental, and you put those things aside, get a journal, pour some thoughts out. You want to make sure that you have some tea. You want to make sure that you have some peppermint oil so that you're stimulated. You want to make sure that you're listening to something inspirational, motivational, or binaural beats, or that lo-fi chill music that we love. You can find so many of those channels on YouTube. And you want to make sure that you also create goals. Make sure that you know what you're doing before you actually even get into your flow state. Also, say goodbye to your distractions, and I'm flipping those in and out, and time yourself. So that's our summary for today. I feel like flow states are so good. Like, I know I need them when I'm actually getting work done, or sometimes I'll do a flow state sprint for recording. Like, you can get so much done when you zone in and you forget about all the other things that you have going on and you give your all to your work. And like I said, it's the best thing ever. So I'm going to be answering a few questions. If you have any questions about flow states, business, online courses, or anything else, you can definitely ask. Pastor Patience said, I think this is my favorite part of the segment, just talking to you guys. If you got to know your flow state, it makes work easier and efficient. It really does, because then you can actually just zone into that and flow with it. And I love that it is something that you can control, and a lot of people don't know that. They don't know that they can control it. They don't know that they can do it over and over as it pertains to their schedule, or it's something that is actually in your control. The only thing is that I would say check or make sure you know like when your flow state kicks in. Are you a morning person? Are you a night person? Are you an evening person? That's really important to know. Right. Oh, my YouTube family is here. Okay. Oh my gosh. Hey guys. Cole said, I think my flow state is late at night. I feel like I work better late at night. I'm not sure if it's good because I do have a 9 to 5 job. Cole, can I tell you something? When I was making this video, I was thinking about people that I know when their flow states are. And Cole, you came to my mind, and it is good. That is your time for focusing on other things outside of, even right now in the COVID situation or the pandemic. I think that and is what I was saying, first of all, is that because we've been trained for 9 to 5, everyone has been trained that way. We have never really got a chance to develop or explore what that would look like, right? What operating outside of that time would look like. But Cole, I thought about you, and I'll tell you why. I thought about you because Kenya said, that's me at night. Yes. I thought about Cole because in working with you, Cole, you are so productive in the wee hours of the morning. And at that time, I was also into that kind of time zone. And I remember that you would work through the night and you would get so much done. So, yes. Hey. Um, Sandra Holt said, my flow state is between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Yes, I totally get that. Right? I wish my flow state was, I can get stuff done in that time. Yes. I think by 2 p.m., I'm kind of tapped out, to be really honest. But my mind changes by the season, right? Miata said mine is early mornings or late night. Yes. Tanya said, I'm here. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Frederick. Okay, everyone is here. This is so exciting. Lo-Fi, Will Smith actually released a playlist, I think, with Jazzy Jeff, which is so cool. But yes, he has a channel. Chill Cow and Chill Hop. The Natural Cole just gave us two. I listen to Chill Cow a lot, and he also has a stream on Spotify as well. Usually I just channel Spotify through my Bluetooth, whatever I'm listening to that day, right? Where can we find more info on flow states, Frederick? I'm so happy that you asked. I have a few resources linked down below. You are on YouTube, so you'll actually see down below where I added, first of all, I added the War of Art. Yes, I always mix that up because we have the Art of War. So the War of Art by Stephen Pressfield is there. Flow by Mahali is there. I know I'm probably not pronouncing that right because you guys know I have a Trinidadian accent. I'm struggling with setting goals and vision. Can you point me to some more resources? I'll tell you something crazy. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that book. I don't have it in here. So I have a book called Goal Mapping by Brian Mayne. I think it's somewhere in the office, but it is such a good book. Such a good book. So tap into that, Frederick. And there are some good resources down at the bottom of this video as well. But that book by Brian Mann, I think, I don't want to say Maine. It has to be man, but it's called Goal Mapping. I wish I could find it, or I would share it with you guys right now. Yes, Goal Mapping. Let me see. I think it is Goal Mapping. Let me see. Let me check on Amazon. I think it's called Goal Mapping, but it's one of the best books that I have ever read, and he is really, really a genius. Let me see. Yes, Brian Mayne, Goal Mapping, and I'll add that. And he shares how to turn your dreams into reality. So he helps you break things down, and that is really good. Kenya said, I have a toddler, so sometimes I'm conflicted and feel like I should be sleeping at night. You know what? If there are other moms in here, maybe you can give Kenya some advice. I'm not a mom just yet, and I do feel that, but I'm a grinder, right? So, yeah. I mean, if that's your time, then, hey, Kenya. Guys, let me know how you feel about this type of content. How do you feel about Sundays at 6:30? I want to know if we should continue with this project that we're doing. I have so much amazingness that's coming. It's so exciting, but I think I just like hanging out with you guys on a Sunday evening, right? And then I resend an email for on Monday for the people that missed it. But I geek out on this kind of stuff. I geek out on stuff that keeps me productive, that keeps me flowing, especially where work is concerned. Kenya is laughing at me. But yeah, this kind of stuff, I feel like nobody really shares. And so for me, I really think about things that have moved the needle for me in business. And these are some of the things that have moved the needle for me. That's getting focused and getting zoned into just completing things and uh, projecting for your quarterly. That's one thing, Frederick. Just knowing your overall yearly goal and breaking that down into smaller pieces, um, especially quarterly, is a really huge thing, right? Oh wow! And Frederick is the father of twin identical daughters. Whoa, that is absolutely amazing. Miata is a mom of four. So Kenya, you have some support over on YouTube, and maybe they might be able to tell you a little more about all of this good stuff. Yes. So Kenya said that's true. I like having these types of discussions. I'm happy you do. Oops, I just got a message. But yeah, happy you guys are enjoying it. Yeah, I would love to continue talking about these kinds of things because I feel like I don't know. I don't see a lot of it, especially from creators of color, talking about these kinds of things. I feel like we're kind of I don't know. It's a whole new world for us to tap into all things productivity and just zoning into success and climbing and moving further. A lot of times, like I said before at the beginning of this stream, a lot of people just focus on um, the fancy fangle dangles, but there's so much more on the back end of it all, right? What is going on? Hold on, guys. I turned off my messaging on my phone, then it came on my computer. Okay. Marcia said, I like this type of content, or I need this type of content. Thanks. You're welcome. I feel like I feel like, okay, so I'll tell you guys something. This type of stream doesn't really do anything for me in terms of being found and things like that, but it brings me joy connecting with you guys on this level. So I love doing it. I love sharing about things that I feel like I don't see from creators of color. And these are things that I've been practicing and implementing and doing. So yeah, and listen, I could go on and on about this type of content, but yeah, I just don't see it a lot with what we do, right? And Pastor Patience said, I really love seeing your beautiful face and smiles and learning from you. And Pastor Patience, I'm just so thankful that you're here almost every Sunday, and I appreciate you so much for being here. And I get to communicate with you guys and talk to you guys. And that really brings me a whole new level of joy. Right. Let me see. Tanya said, thanks for this. I just purchased a calendar to write my schedule, and you are so helpful. Thank you, Miata. Thank you so much. Chantel said, agreed. Okay, what streams then make you get found? Frederick, that's a whole other story. I have a full masterclass on it on the website, which is zaleybarclay.com. You can look for that free masterclass. You will see it right there. Or if you had to start grow.com, you'll see it as well. In that class, and I'm sure people in here have taken that class, it really maps out what kind of video content I create to get me found, to get me booked with services, and to get me just get people to get to know me better. And I actually include this type of content in there. So it's funny, if you observe my brand, you will actually see all of the types of content that I use. I don't teach anything that I don't do. And so you'll see my exact system. It's a 5-part system that I use for creating content. And that has been really good to me. So I decided to share it for free. So it's a free masterclass, Frederick. So you're able to tap on to the website and go take advantage of it. Right. Budget Boss Coupons said, "This is really helping because sometimes I struggle with being focused." Yes, it's such a thing, and I want you guys to really dive into it. Sandra, I will see you on Wednesday. It's our last Wednesday. I'm kind of sad about that. When is Starship Grow reopening? Starship Grow is reopening soon, right? In a few weeks, actually. So if you're not on my mailing list, you can do that by heading to saleybarclay.com. And you will be notified exactly when we reopen. It's going to be so exciting. We're kicking off with a challenge. That challenge is going to be exciting. So if you're not creating video content just yet, that challenge will work in helping you do that. And it's going to work in, I have so many amazing things planned for that challenge. It's really going to help you package your presence to make money on camera. So if you are always excited when you see me, I'm going to be helping you to pull out that thing that you've been hiding from the world that is going to be able to unlock different revenue streams for you, especially as video is concerned, right? Yes, Arise IBO Knowledge is Wealth program says, I am waiting to sign up. I'm waiting for you to join us too. It's going to be a magical experience. I have a full 12-month calendar prepared for Starship Grow. We are relaunching. It's going to be so exciting. And there's going to be so much more to come. Just stay tuned in, guys. I want to thank you for being here. It's 7:06. I don't want to keep you guys all Sunday afternoon. I'm excited for you to be here. Make sure you head over to zaleybarclay.com to see what I have going on. I've been doing so many classes and teachings, and you guys have been following along, even for the past few weeks, working with Create Cultivate, working with Adobe, working with Blogger, and our Thinking Color Accelerator. Girl, so much going on, and you guys have been so supportive, and I'm just so thankful for that and for you. I love you. If you're not subscribed just yet, be sure to do that. And if you feel like your business buddy needs this type of content, be sure to share it or share me with them. Don't be selfish and keep me to yourself. All right, guys, I love you, and I will see you next Sunday. Take care. Bye bye.